So, welcome back. I'm Bored, the mediocre artist, and today we're just continuing on with Marc Brunet's year of art. This is the second month. This is supposed to be February, where I think it's 80 gesture drawings, drawing a head, a one-point perspective scene, and some face drawing studies. This is actually split into two parts, technically. Or at least the whole month was. It kind of rolled over into November a little bit, being that after a little while, my Clip Studio Paint started to lag, and so did my drawing tablet. Either way, that took a bit too long to talk about. In this video, I should talk about some other stuff. What am I actually doing? That's right, yeah, so there's a lot of drawing pieces here. A lot of sketches for gestures. Did 3 pieces, 3 studies. One of those was Fubuki by Yusuke Murata. In the last video, I said I hadn't done a Murata piece in a while. That was a bold-faced lie, apparently. I totally forgot I did this, and I'm really happy with how it came out, because I love Fubuki, I love Murata. Yeah, so after that I did Nagumo. Yuto Suzuki did that. That's from Sakamoto Days. Such a good manga. Go check it out. And the last one, which you'll see at the end of the video, is Senku by Boichi, which is from Dr. Stone. Man, everyone is such a good artist. The other pieces that I did were a lot of head drawings, which was just me practicing drawing a head, basically, because Marc Brunet told me to, and I can't do anything on my own. I just have to listen to people. They tell me to do something, I'll do it. It's improving my art skills, so who am I to complain at this point? There are about 3 sections in this video where I'm just drawing heads from my imagination, really. I mean, I'd look up some head practices on how to set it out. Different videos give different perspectives on how they would draw heads, and it kind of just blurs all into one, and I just, in the end, I just do what I want to do, which I think is how you should do art. Do whatever you want to do. But as you can tell, I'm not the best when it comes to drawing heads from imagination. To be fair, I'm not the best at anything when it comes from imagination. So I have this thing called aphantasia, I believe that's how it's pronounced, where it's I can't visualize anything inside my head. This is just day-to-day life. I close my eyes, I try to think of something, try to think of anything. I can describe something. I could tell you how it's supposed to look like, but in my mind, I do not see it. I just have this information kind of there, stored. If you were to give me a picture of Goku, for instance, and I tried to draw Goku, I would think to myself, I know Goku has spikes on his hair, and I can kind of remember where those spikes are supposed to go, but I don't remember the specifics, and that'll come out a bit wonky. Also want to shout out someone. You might have seen a name under one of the head drawings that I did. That's Ira1. I met Ira1 on Twitch. They were just someone who jumped into one of my streams whilst I was drawing. And I asked them for a name for a head and they gave it to me. So there you go. That's my first contribution from the wider world. And I'm so happy. Ira1 is such a great person. You should go follow them on Twitch. They are also an artist, by the way. So, and their art is significantly better than mine. I wouldn't say significantly. It's better than mine. So, I talked about how bad of an artist I am, as I do every video. So, why do I think that? I don't think that. I just think I have a consistency issue, which leads to the main discussion of this video. I struggle with consistency. Just in general, really. But if we're being specific, if we're talking about art, yeah, I'm not the type of person who does art every day. I can be, I have been, and I'm trying to wonder why this is. There are a few reasons I'm inconsistent, but one of the main ones I think of is that there is so much art out there, which is just truly amazing. You look at a piece and you realize that someone has to have put their 10,000 hours in, has to have worked their butts off so hard, has to have dedicated their whole life to art. I've mentioned the artists before, like Yusuke Murata, Akira Toriyama, Marc Brunet, Jaded Animations. Heck, even if I scroll through DeviantArt, I will see so many pieces on DeviantArt, which I'm like, that's better than me, that's better than me. Oh my goodness, this person is a genius. And on occasion, to me, that feels like an insurmountable mountain, which I don't know how to scale. When I look at where I am right now, and when I think about where I want to be, it's like I've barely done rock climbing. And now someone's given me some harnesses, some equipment, and they're like, look at that, that's Mount Everest. Go and climb that by yourself. No help, nothing. Go and do it. Because that's the position I'm in right now. I don't have a teacher or anything. I have all the information online, but I'm trying to do everything by myself, which probably isn't the best in the long term. I'll probably have to eventually find a teacher. But right now, it's just me in my room, drawing when I feel like it, and I have this imaginary, unfathomable goal of where I want to be in life, and I just can't reach it sometimes, right? I'm just inconsistent in general. Like, I've never been a person who schedules. Back when I was a kid and I'd go to school every day, that's because my mum woke me up and made me do that stuff. When I had the reins, though, when I moved to university at 18, I was consistent for a little bit, and then I realized, I don't really have to wake up on time. I don't really have to go to this lecture. I can just watch it online. The only things I have to do are attend these mandatory courses, and then for the rest of the time, I can just do everything myself, which is how I've always been, kind of. I'd always try and figure things out by myself. For better or worse, that's just how I've done things. I've always tried to carry the burden by myself. And I'm not saying that art is a burden, of course not. But sometimes it can be a bit too much, and it does feel a little harsh, when you see the goal you have to get to. Those 10,000 hours. I don't even know if I've put 500 hours into art yet. I'm not even a fifth of the way there, a tenth of the way there. And there are these people out there who have doubled that, tripled that. They've put so much effort into it. And it's not just my art, it's my sleep, it's my food, it's my work schedule. All of it is out of whack. My Twitch, I was consistent for a month. Went on holiday, never started it up again. My art schedule, same thing as my Twitch, was consistent. Went on holiday, and then it just broke. Not to mention that a lot of the time, I'm busy, or I'm just not feeling it. I'm so bored a lot of the time, and it can be so unmotivating. I base a lot of my life on motivation, it seems, when I shouldn't be basing it on that. I should just be a person who says, I want to do this, and I just go out there and do it. That is a very upsetting way to look at things, which is why I've come to give some positive news to me and whoever's listening. I say I base a lot of my life on motivation, and that's what gets me to do art. All the art out there that I see, it's so inspiring. I want to be just like them. Sure, I compare myself to them sometimes. Sure, I wonder what it would have been like if I didn't spend the last 6 years of my life pursuing a dream I didn't want to pursue. But that's not the reason I do it. I do it because I think I can. I do it because I love it. I do it to help people, I guess. Maybe it's an unrealistic goal, unrealistic expectations of myself to put myself in a position where my art can help someone, because whose art helps anyone? They're just pictures at the end of the day, right? Not to me, they're not. And they help me. If they can help me, that frees up my life to help others. That's what I want to do, ultimately. Maybe that's a bit self-centered. Maybe that's giving me too much credit. Maybe that's me tooting my own horn. Like, hey, if I had all this free time and all this energy, I'd go out there and make a change in the world. Maybe that is. But it's how I feel, and I can't change that. this inspiring art I see makes me want to be better. Makes me want to be a better artist. Makes me want to be a better person. And some people just can't relate to that. I understand it. You might look at an art piece and be like, oh, that's a cool art piece. Move on with your day. I look at an art piece sometimes, not all the time. There are some art pieces which I genuinely don't care for. But no offense to the artists out there. But I'll look at it and I'll be like, wow. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me trying to be the best artist that I can be. The inspiration from others, it wasn't always like that, you know? When I was 18, I was lost. Really. I was just going through the motions. I was just going to my lectures, studying because I could. I was doing everything a model student was supposed to do in my mind. But even then I knew I wasn't doing enough. And I kept wondering why. And it's because I was doing something I didn't want to do. I was lost. And sometimes, even after I figured out that I wanted to be an artist, I look back at myself and I look at myself in the current day and I still feel lost. I'm still doing a job which I don't want to do. Not because I dislike engineering or anything, or I dislike doing those digital stuff, whatever. I don't want to dedicate my life to the stuff I'm dedicating my life to. I'm putting so many hours into something I know I'm gonna quit. I won't be doing this next year. After September, after my graduate scheme is done, that's me. I'm gone. They won't see me again. They won't hear from me. I robbed them blind. And then what? I go back to my hometown, find a job there just so I can keep up this art goal. It's a long cycle. It's gonna be a tough and tedious journey. But you just have to believe something. Just have to put the work in, which is so hard. It's so hard when you don't have that consistency, that schedule. When you're not putting the work in already, you don't want to put the work in at all. You know, it's not that you don't want to put the work in. You want to put the work in, but you just can't bring yourself to put the work in because right now you're at a base level where there is no pain. There is no pain, but you know you have to drag yourself up to a point where there will be pain. It'll have great benefit to you, but that pain is the barrier. There is no ease of access to being who you want to be. There is no ease of access to being a good artist. Occasionally I wonder to myself, should I just quit my job, go back home, find some chill job where I just have to work like 4 hours, make half as much money as I do, and dedicate the rest of my time to art. Sometimes I think that. Sometimes I also think I'm completely out of my mind for considering something like that because I wouldn't be able to afford to live regardless. Probably starve myself. But yeah, I feel like I should just go back home, quit my job, and just pursue art like the greats do, like Haruhiko Araki did, right? He just, one day, bang, I'm out. I'm gonna go study art. Comes back in, goated artist now. He's another inspiration for me, by the way, because his art looks nothing like anime. He's so out of the blue. It's just completely different style. I love him so much. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is also a great series, but just his art style. There's a reason he works with people like Vogue, because he thinks like this too, kind of. I'm not in Haruhiko Araki's head, but I believe he pictures himself as an artist first, as a manga artist second, a story writer second. I mean, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is an amazing story, but he prioritizes his art. One day I wish to be like that. One day I wish I can prioritize my art like Haruhiko Araki does. What will it take to get there? I don't know. You know, it's funny to me because I do have one habit that's like completely the opposite of art. Just as hard, but in a completely different way, and that's just like going to the gym. I love going to the gym, and it's one of the hardest habits I've had to pick up because there is also a pain barrier to enter that. It's a different kind of pain barrier. This is hurting my muscles, But it's like once I get into that flow of keeping this habit up, I keep chugging along. In fact, days where I don't go to the gym, I'm feeling like, man, I really want to go to the gym. Like today, for instance, I'm supposed to be doing legs today, but my legs are too sore. They have not recovered properly, and I'm missing being at the gym, and that's so different because I'm not missing doing art, and I wonder why that is. It's not because I don't like art, because I love art. I love gym too, and just like with art, I've had struggles with gym. I was super consistent back at university, back at the tail end of university, in which case I was going every day. I was prioritizing going gym above my lectures. That's how much I loved it. I was super consistent, and then I went back home. I was still super consistent. I got a fever when my family was around, then boom, no more. I just stopped. That fever only took me out for like 3 days. 3 whole days I was out. And then I didn't go gym for like 6 months. I don't know what it is sometimes. Like, it's not that I didn't go gym, because I definitely did go gym. It's just my consistency had died. But now I'm back, I'm consistent. I go gym every day, mostly. I have my rest days, I'm not a bad man. And it's just so easy to keep consistent. It's a bit different with art because I'm not fatiguing myself in the same way. I'm fatiguing myself in my mind, which is something I think I have to consider as I'm recording this audio piece. I'm considering it right now. I didn't actually occur to me that I might have fatigued myself too much. One day I will be consistent in art again, and that is a day I look forward to and cherish a lot. I just don't know when it's going to happen, but I have to make an effort. I have to start. I have to be the one that puts my tablet down, sticks art on, and is like, all right, I'm not leaving until I do this. I have to do this art, otherwise what? I don't know. I just have to be in that position. I just have to stick myself there. And that's hard because I'm not consistent in anything else. I'm not consistent in my sleep schedule. I've mentioned that. And it's so difficult to get started. It feels like that first step is massive. But it always is. The first step is always massive. You just have to take that leap of faith sometimes. And I want to take that leap of faith. I need to take that leap of faith. But yeah, I'm bored a lot. That's the end of that. Comedically, it's funny what becomes consistent and what breaks that consistency. I think I'm a bit of a masochist in some ways, because whenever times get tough is when I do things the most. I mean, unless I've built the habit. There is nothing pushing me to go gym. There was nothing pushing me to do art back in October, apart from the desire to be an artist. God, it kind of reminds me of a time where, like, I was in brass band. Well, I mean, brass band took up a lot longer of my life than I'm kind of building up to be. But when I was so into it back in secondary school. But when I got into uni, spent 6 months of it, did one competition, and now like that's it. I quit, and I've never picked up the trombone ever again. That's a story for another time. In fact, there's some pretty funny stories that came out of that. I guess that's it for this video. I'll be back next week with another video. Hopefully I can cut that a bit shorter. Hopefully I don't go on such an impassioned rant next time. I think that's it for the video. And I also hope that you enjoyed the art pieces that were being shown, because that's the main point of the video, not me ranting about my life. I should definitely start talking about stories which are a bit more uplifting. I'm not complaining, it's just my way of expressing how I love art. And how I love art is by telling myself, or telling you guys, for instance, that the rest of the stuff I was doing was totally bogus, because this is my calling. People should be allowed to do what they want to do. People should be allowed to pursue their passions. So that's how I think I'll end it today. So I guess that's the message for this video. Go out there and explore your passions, because you deserve to love life too. Don't forget to check out the music in the description below.